one of the scariest things for people is to put their name and their reputation on the line when they aren't 100% sure that they're going to make something happen. And I want to share with you guys a story where over the last, I'd say, 3 years now, even 5 years, I can say over the last 5 years, I've been through multiple careers. I was part of a startup that had international success and very quickly afterwards disappeared. I've traveled all over the world. I had built an incredible relationship that dissolved overnight after 5 years and fell apart. I've went from being top of industry in the film industry to living at my mom's house during the pandemic with no idea how I was going to pay my bills. I've went from there to upgrading luxury apartments twice, getting a beautiful foreign car, again traveling all over the world, making over $250,000 using just my cell phone, and spending closer to $500,000 in the same time. I've made it on American news. I've stirred up controversy. I've made great friends. I've lost many others. I've found my way into an elite circle of multimillionaires, celebrities, and influencers. I've taught hundreds, if not thousands, of people. I have built a rock solid online community that's dedicated to following the principles and the lessons that I've learned over the course of my journey. I've created beautiful artworks. I've made people cry. I've made people laugh. I've helped people find their purpose. And I've gotten myself to this place now where I'm thinking about the future. And with all of this, I'm in a basement suite in Mississauga, Ontario right now. I don't really know how I ended up here, but I do, but I don't. Um, I've got incredible things on the horizon, incredible projects that we're working on that I'm very, very excited about. The community being one of them. The financial services offer, the financial education offer, rather, I should say, that we're building now. The trips that we have upcoming. I'm about to be flying to Medellin, Colombia again, and I can't help but feel this odd feeling of doubt and insecurity, even though all of these things have already happened. And the reason I wanted to share this with you guys is that no matter where you're at in your journey, you're going to experience some form of uncertainty. And whether you believe you can or you cannot, you'll usually be right. And most, if not all, of the things that I've accomplished over these years in my time here in the game, people at some point said I was crazy or thought that I was crazy, but I refused to believe them. And as we grow, we will take on more pressure, more challenges. Our failures will carry more weight and will experience more of that feeling of, am I really on path? Am I really going the right direction? And it can be disheartening. And I want to say that it would not be for the incredible people who go out of their way on a regular basis to remind me that um, I'm onto something. I'm doing things of value. I've made an impact in their life and they look forward to what I'm doing next. Because it can become very challenging, especially in like when you get to a hard point. Like right now, we built up an incredible business and then the seasons have turned and sales aren't as consistent as they once were. I'm in a city and a apartment that is not really my preference or style. It's kind of happened by accident that we ended up here. I wasn't supposed to be in Toronto. I was making plans for Miami, and lots has changed. But in every single moment, as I reflect on my journey, which I encourage you all to do, I've had solutions appear to seemingly impossible scenarios and predicaments that completely changed my perspective on anything that I was going through that was challenging. And it wasn't until I realized that there was a pattern here and that my ability and my willingness and my commitment to following through and consistently showing up for the bigger picture, the big dream, the vision, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. Not to say that where I'm at is bad, but I wouldn't have made the progress that I had made. And in posting these videos, I seek to catalog more of the uncertain times to contrast them to the great times, because they always come. And we won't always have the confidence or the certainty. We won't always have the answers. But what we do have inside is that feeling, that sense in your chest or your stomach or your gut, wherever you feel it, that drives you towards your next destination. And I oftentimes don't know where it's going to take me. I never thought that I would be in financial education. I never thought that I would be in Mississauga, Ontario. I never thought that I'd be living with a homie in Erie, Pennsylvania. I never thought that all of these things would happen. I never thought that my ex-girlfriend, it wouldn't work out at the time, you know? But doors kept opening. And I have fears, I have worries, I have doubts, like we all do. Will it ever pan out? Will it be worth it? Are we going in the right direction? And an older version of me might have tried to answer those questions, but that was a version of me that was trying to make sense of uncertainty. And we really can't. The only way that we can make sense of it is to do what we know we're supposed to, in line with the calling that we have, the belief and the intention and the pursuits of that which we believe are valuable, and leave the rest up to God, the universe, consciousness, whatever you call it. And have faith that there's a bigger picture, there's a bigger plan at stake, and it is not for us to know outside of those plans or the information or the experience that we have in front of us right now. All our responsibility is to fulfill, to serve, to commit, and to do the work. I was asked once if I had a business plan. I do, in a sense. I know where I'm going. I know what it looks like. How I'm going to make all of it happen, I can't say for sure, because a lot of it sounds pretty crazy to me. And my answer was that I wake up in the morning, I download the information from above, I understand and I make sense of the calling, and I go and do what I'm supposed to do for the day, and I prioritize accordingly. I don't ask too many questions. I simply check in with the feeling. Sometimes things are off, sometimes things are on. And I do everything in my power to cultivate that and to operate in accordance with that. Sometimes it has me in situations where I'm spending way more money than I think that I should be spending. But I'm trusting. I'm like, it's this feeling. It's just the answer. I might not know how it's going to pan out now. It might feel like stretching and pushing myself beyond my means now. But if my relationship with that feeling is off and it's wrong, and this shit doesn't pan out, then what I've built my life and my beliefs on were misdirected or misguided. And I might as well find out about that sooner than later. However, in my experience, that feeling has led me in the right direction. It may not be obvious at the time, especially to those around me, but it pays its dues. And so where I'm at now and where I'm going is purely in the trust of that feeling and putting all faith in the bigger picture and the higher order. And I'm sensitive to say God because I never found myself to be religious or, attracted to Christian or religious language. Although I've always found myself attracted to cathedrals and churches, some of the most magnificent constructions of humanity. They're awesome and astonishing. But what I found over the last couple weeks, actually, and maybe like a month or so, is that I found a draw towards religiosity, and I found myself speaking to God more, which is surprising to me. And for those of people who do know me, probably would just say the same. Even though I've been spiritual for very many years, I've always had a spiritual connection. I never found myself like speaking directly to God in that manner, and I found it very helpful and very powerful. Where the ability to leave the unknown up to the unknown and to focus simply on what it is that we have in front of ourselves, it saves a lot of brain power. It saves a lot of energy, and it solves for a lot of that feeling of uncertainty and danger in this game, which I think is really important. Because if you don't believe in a higher power or a higher order, however you language it or design it in your mind, that is truly out for you, that is truly looking out for you, a benevolent force, you are living in a dangerous world. Your decisions, your actions, your behaviors will be based on fear. You will hold back your creativity and your risk or your inclinations towards something more beautiful, something more valuable, something more inspiring to you out of fear, because it would be your belief deep down that we're in the unknown and it's the boogeyman is going to get you. Now, does this mean to operate naive and to operate without order and discipline and ethics and principles that align with you what you believe? No, but it does mean that you can give yourself a break a little bit. You can cut yourself some slack for not having all the answers and focus more on what you do have in front of you and take power in that and take pride in that. Because once you do that work, as long as you do the work in the right direction and you commit yourself truly to serving the higher purpose, the higher order, which is to elevate the state of affairs for all involved, win 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 across the board. You seek to create and to cultivate the best experiences for the most amount of people with the resources and awareness that you have available to you today, and you work from there. Because you may not have all the answers. You certainly won't have all the answers. Even me here now, after all I've experienced, I still wake up with more questions than I have certainty. I look to produce presentations and programs and all this shit, and then I uncover a new awareness, a new horizon, and I realize maybe that's not actually the answer that I want to give people. Maybe that's not something I actually want to put out. And this is frustrating. So instead of worrying too much about that, I'm just posting these videos and communicating what I need to communicate and what I feel called to communicate in the moment, because I don't believe there is anything else. Our ability to tune into that moment and not filter it is what is going to give one another power, and it's going to help make sense of what is taking place in the game. Because too much manufacturing and too much polishing of the content and the media that we put out and the whatever, even the way that we show up out online, it doesn't add to the game if it is an illusion, in my opinion. And this is why I stopped producing super aesthetic, out of this world content. I felt like I was lying in a sense. I didn't like the idea of taking people away from their current reality, even though I know and I have a keen ability to transport people out of their reality through my content and my material and my marketing. But it still bothered me. And I believe it was because it wasn't truly aligned with an outcome that I could confidently back. Like something I could confidently say, like, this is the right place to go. And will I return to it? We'll see. But for now, my inclination is to keep going in this manner that we have here, raw, uncut, very straight to the point, and to let it unfold how it does, because one day there's going to be a moment where my responsibility is to speak without filter, without preparation, and what I'm doing here now is to be ready for that, so that my words land and they are meaningful and they resonate amongst the crowd, and it truly leaves an impact. It does wonders for this world, because it is my belief that I'm truly here to help millions of people to unlock their purpose, to free their mind, to give themselves permission to go out and do what it is that they're called to do, to be masters of their craft, to serve and to support the people that they care about, and to build incredible and inspiring reputations around what it is that they're called to do, and then to light the torch for others along the path. Because the more people who are committed to their mastery, and the more people who are doing so without fear, building their brands, building their reputation, communicating, using the new world opportunities to spread their message and to serve the world, the cooler this world is going to be. And so it is with that that I wake up every single morning, and I put my focus towards, and everything else that appears along the way is simply just the steps required to make that happen. So with that, it's a little bit longer video than usual, but got to try my new microphone. I hope you guys like it. Let's see how it pans out, and I'm gonna leave you guys with that. So love you guys, leave you guys, see you guys in the next videos. It was day 60, but I shot 2 videos, so this will be posted tomorrow for day 17 of the 90 days of YouTube. And I think we're getting there. The message is becoming clear. Let's keep going. See you guys in the next one. Peace.